What's up, Dallas? It's your girl, Rachel. I have an extra special episode today. So, this is a monumental moment for us here at this show, but we have our first young out of town entrepreneur representing today. We have Fly Guy Isaiah. How are you doing?
I am doing well. How are you today?
I'm doing fabulous. Thank you. First of all, I really want to thank you for being on my show. So I know we've been following each other on Instagram for quite some time, and you are just doing everything. But for all of our watchers out there, can you tell them who Fly Guy Isaiah is?
So first, fly. Let me talk about the fly part. So I was life flighted from birth in a helicopter. And then I for my love of planes, I was flying planes, and I got 2 sets of wings that the pilot gave me, and I actually got to go in the cockpit. One was in 2019, and the other was in May of 2023. And then I'm a guy, and then I'm gonna add the rest of my name, so that's Isaiah. So I get Fly, then Guy, and then Isaiah, and then I get Fly Guy Isaiah.
That's amazing. That's so creative how you came up with that too. My goodness. It all goes together and all represents you as a whole. Yes. So you do modeling, correct?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
So how long have you been modeling?
I've been modeling for 6 years now. 6 years.
Y'all hear that? 6 years Isaiah has been modeling. And I know that is like an industry that a lot of people are trying to get into.
Yes.
So can you tell me how you got started?
So first, I really did want to do modeling, right? So it was just a coincidence. I mainly wanted to do acting. So Lady, my special grandmother over here, she went and found an agency, and then it's called Neil Hamill. And then I started taking acting classes. But a part of those acting classes was a modeling class. Mm-hmm. So then I started doing modeling a little bit more than acting. And then when we had an in-house fashion show where you just walk the runway for like, I would say a group of like 30, 20 people. And then I was like so afraid because that was my first fashion show. And I was like covering up my ears and my eyeballs just so I could not hear anybody. So that was just, and then I walked out there 3 times doing the same whole thing, even when I was in a suit. So then I was still 5 at the time. But then I went to this big convention in IMTA, which is International Model Talent Association Convention. Mm-hmm. And then, so there was like some 50,000 more people in the audience, and there was a 40-foot long runway. And I literally walked that thing like, I don't know how many times, like 3-5 times or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I was not fearful. I just went straight up and did it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And so I've continued ever since that.
And it's now a passion of yours, correct?
Yes.
Is there a brand that you would like to model for soon?
Lots. Let me just put it that way. But mainly like Dolce & Gabbana.
Okay, I can see that. They have a junior line, I hope. That's amazing. Yes. So as far as the acting part, so you do stage plays too?
Yes, I did. I did my actual first stage play, and I believe it was like, I can't remember, but it was during a domestic violence month, and then we did a stage play. It was hosted by Miss Jennifer Gilbert, host of DDV 365, mm-hmm. and it was the topic was domestic violence, and we did that for 3 nights. And then that was the end. We all got our credit individually, and then that was really a fun time. And I was over here like so happy that I got to stay through all the rehearsals and through the whole play, because I would have been like, no.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So like stage plays are so much different than like acting on screen.
Yes.
So as a stage play, how long did it take you to memorize your lines?
Let's say the whole practicing process, but mostly how I memorized my lines was to just read them over and over again, then flip the paper where I couldn't see it and it was blank, and then I was just like trying to speak my lines without looking at them.
Okay. And I'm sure Miss Lady helped you out with that too as well, right?
Yes.
That's amazing. We're going to give we're going to give props to Miss Lady for bringing up Isaiah in such a gentlemanly way. I'm just saying, I have a lot of respect for you because you are a young gentleman in training. You have manners, and that is very, very important. So I respect you for that.
Thank you.
So also, What's Up Dallas Magazine is all about celebrating the entrepreneurs in the area. So, Isaiah, you have your own business, correct?
Yes.
Tell me about it.
So really, I am doing all types of art, really. I do abstract, I do acrylic paint, oil pastels in general. I do tempera paint, lots and lots of canvases that I just work on up until 11 p.m. at night. Just I was up here like, okay, this. So I was explaining to you earlier, as in my grandmother, aka Lady, sends me little videos on my Instagram page to myself. So then I can go in and review them on my phone, and then I can see them, and then I get inspired by different types of arts, right? Mm-hmm. And then I go in and either make myself a own creation of that, or I can go in and just do something completely random, but with that same general idea.
That's amazing. That's very talented, very creative. So how long have you been painting?
I've been painting since I was 10, so basically for 1 year almost. Or it's roughly around 1 year now, because I started painting at 10 and now I'm 11, so roughly around 1 year.
That's amazing. I love that. So I'm an artist myself. So I just love all that, and I celebrate all the artists and all the creative talents out there. So I will ask you this as an artist question. Do you find that art helps you relax and helps you focus in a better mood?
Yes, it does. And what I like to think of as the types of color you use, say for instance, red, for example, that can mean anger, that can mean love, that could be flowers or something else. Blue could be sadness, blue could be sky. Who knows what else you might come up with, right?
That's amazing. And then your art actually reflects you as an artist, which as it should. I mean, as all art should reflect the artist and their creative skills. So which piece is your favorite?
All of them.
All of them.
Let me just put them in that order. All of them.
That's amazing. I love that. I would say the same for all my art too. So what is your inspiration in life? What inspires you?
Really just how people how I view the world and different things around me. Say for example, in my art journey, I look at trees, for example. If you're ever in Houston and you see those little curves in the middle of the street and they have little plants uprooting from them, I take that as an art idea. And if they have flowers on them, I'm just literally staring at them like crazy. So, and then sometimes I did a piece and I transferred it over onto a circle piece of paper, and then I made that piece literally come to life off of the page.
That is fantastic. I resonate with that. So I will be asking you this amazing question for all of our viewers out there. So a lot of people don't know that young people have goals in their life that they want to focus on. So what is your goals in life?
So mainly my goal is to be a person who can show people a way to live, how to live in the right way, and then to basically be who they want to be, and then make themselves continue with that journey. And then if someone tells you, oh, you can't do this, don't do this, you don't let that stop you right there. You go on with that same thing. Also, I have an example of what I watched on Friday in my counseling class. So it was a video, and this guy had a brick wall, right? You can't obviously kick down a brick wall, right?
Right.
So, and then the people who volunteered to kick down the wall, they were like, oh, I can't do this. And then the guy spray painted, you can't, on the brick wall, right? And then after he did that, he gave the people a hint.
Mhm.
And guess what the hint was?
What was it?
Kick through the T, the
Mhm.
letter T. And if you erase the T off of can't, what do you get?
I can.
Yes, so that spell you can. And the people felt really much better after they saw that I can do this and I can go along with this journey or whatever I'm doing. I can release this anxiety, I can release this trauma, and then boom, I'm done. I'm done. And then if I say I'm not done, go with the flow and continue with it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I love that. And that was really inspirational. I take that to heart. So I got to know, like, as a kid, you still struggle with things, correct?
Yes.
How do you keep yourself motivated?
How I keep myself motivated is just, first of all, take breaks, because I have to go run downstairs and get a snack sometimes because I am always hungry sometimes. And then sometimes I'm over here, like, maybe I just need to do breathing exercises. And something that I learned in my crisis counselor's class is a square breathing, where you take a deep breath in and then you hold it for 4 seconds and then you let it out for 4 seconds and then you hold it for 4 seconds and then you repeat that same process for however much time you need, and then you go back to what you were doing.
That is awesome. Yeah, I need to take that to note too. So I'm going to start doing that. Square breathing. That's
Yes.
amazing. And I do have to ask you one other question.
Yes.
So a lot of people out there don't know that kids have a schedule. Like, you're in school and you're doing all these things,
Yes.
and also making your entrepreneur life and your model life. How are you balancing school and life and entrepreneurship?
Okay, I already know how I'm balancing it. I'm not balancing it. You want to know who's balancing it? It's my grandmother over here. She's the one who's balancing it over here. And like, she does, like, she sometimes has to move me out of my schedule sometimes, but then I can go in and watch recordings after, and then I see that, oh, I get this part of this lesson. Say, for instance, if it was math, I am semi good at math. Math is not my thing though, but I can go back and watch recordings, right? And then I can go in and then I'll be like, oh, I get this now. So then, but if we have to leave, we can order my schedule then, and then we can go in and be like, okay, so we need to go out and do this. We need to go run to the store. After I do that, I come back and then I do whatever else I need to do, and then I complete my lessons, and then I go on with about my day, and then boom.
That's amazing. Thank you, Miss Lady, for helping him balance his schedule. He's giving you props over here. And I got to ask you one more question. Do you have any mentors you would like to give a shout out to for helping you grow?
Okay. First person that I would love to give is God first, and then you next. And then Miss Tay Mayberry, who is my art mentor. And then actually who is next to God is that ma'am over there who is in her fancy clothes.
Miss Lady.
Is Lady. So that's her over there. And everybody else who's helped me, giving me inspiration and just support from everybody who's giving me likes on Instagram, have given me likes on everything that I've done through my actual whole entire life. And then, yeah, so thank you to everyone.
Thank you to all those people. So we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back with the segment where Isaiah is going to talk about his art. So y'all stay tuned.
Peace out.
Diamond Dior Hair Collections offers all-natural hair care products for women who want healthier hair. Their products are made with fruits and herbs to hydrate, nourish, and tone hair. Visit their website to learn more and improve your hair care routine.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another segment of this special interview with Fly Guy Isaiah. So, he is here to actually talk about all this beautiful art behind me. So, I'm going to pass the mic to you, okay?
Hello, it is me again here. So all of these pieces are for sale, and if you see little dots on them, that means they are for sale. And each piece is made by especially me. So I'm going to talk a little bit about each one. So here we go. This is Night Trees right here. I used a silver acrylic paint, and then I also used black acrylic paint, excuse me. And then I used pink pastel paint and blue pastel paint as well. And then this is Day Trees, and I used tempera paint for each of these. And then I used pastel for this, and then the rest is acrylic paint. And then down here, I used all pastel paint for each little segment. And then I used a black fine point Sharpie to make the little details here. And then for this one, I used all marker. And this one I specially made with pastels for the skin color because I didn't want to color pencil it because I didn't want to be too dark or too light. So I made it like just the right little tone. And then the rest of it is marker. Here I used a sketching pencil for the hair and the eyes and the eyebrows, piercings, as well as the nose and the lips, basically the whole picture. And then I used marker to add the color so it can pop out and stand out instead of it being gray and lifeless, right? Same thing I did with here. And then, but here I just sketched it on this paper, and then I started coloring all of it. And this for the skin, I used color pencil instead of pastels. And then for this whale piece, I used all marker and a blue pastel. And I used some of my metallic colors, which was silver and gold, as well as this piece right here. This was my inspiration piece for this one. I used all markers and colored pencils on this one and a sketching pencil. And then for this one, I just sketched all of it down, and then I started using all my markers. And then up here for this stork, I used what's it called? Sketching pencils again. And then I used some acrylic paint for this part, and then I use markers for these parts, and then I use blue pastel color for this part, and this yellow pastel for this part, as well as I did use red and black what's it called, marker for the bill and crown, and then the eye, as well as this one here. I love this one because I used a plastic fork. I had to make the designs with a plastic fork, right? And then I was having to use my my wind element here. And then I blew some very, very creative designs on here. What I like to look at this part as is like a duck or a turtle on a dog's back. If you can see the shape right here. Yes, and then this one right here, I did basically the same thing here, but then if you look here, this kind of looks like a little bug here, and the antennas are coming out for like a flower or something. And then this one I did in my art class. This was inspired by my art class here, and I basically used different textures of colors, and then I swiped them all together and to make this what I like to call flowers and waterfalls, because these are the flowers and these are the waterfalls here. Yes, and then this one is basically kind of like my favorite one because this is called Rainbow Sea, which is like so lovely. Like if you saw me doing this, it would look so dark at the first time. But then I used one of those scraper utensils where you scrape the paint off the side, and then it gave me this rainbow color. I'm like, ooh, this looks nice. And then I waited one day, and then I went in and made little details on the canvas. Yes, and here I did a surreal creature, and this is all marker except for the background, and I use like a magenta hot pink for the background as well. And then the drip art up at the very top is I used all acrylic paints and one tempera paint color, and then a gold canvas, which was really exciting because I love my shimmery colors. So those are all of my pieces so far. And then we have these down here.
These beautiful, beautiful sisters. Is that right?
Yes. So these are two sisters. This one is the first hat lady. This is like the taco, and this is the taco right here, and this is the tortilla chip, aka what is it called? Tortilla wrap. And then we have, and I like how this kind of looks like an afro at the same time because it just gives that little poofy sense of an object. And then I drew the lips, I drew the face, I drew the whole body, and then I had to color the background first. Then I did all the body parts. So this was really awesome to make here.
Two of my favorites. Two of my favorites.
Yes.
So thank you for talking about your art. So I would like to ask you, out of all this art, which ones took you the longest to do?
I would say this one, number one, because it took me like a whole day to wait for it to dry, or 2 days for a matter of fact. And then I had to go in and literally fine detail the little points in here. I literally had to go in and look at what parts I needed to put in some little pop of color in. And then like number two, it took me a little while to do this because I had to do the background first, and then I had to wait, and then I did the sun, and then I did this water part, and then I did all of the land, and then I did the trees here. And the trees took me a little while to do because I had to go in with a fine point brush, and then I had to make little strips of leaves, if you can see that on the painting. Also, this one, the stork, took me a little while to do because I had to like go in and fine point sketch it and make it look perfectly great. And then I added the little ripple down here, and then I added all the rest of my little art segments in there. Yes. And then I think this one in the middle right here, this one, the flowers one, took me a little while because I had to put paint on a little stamper. I had like little bags, and I put little paper in them, and then I put paint the outside of it except the center, and then I stamp it on the canvas, and then I had to wait like a little bit, and then I had to go in and do the center. I waited for that to dry. I did the stems, and then I did the grass as well. This one took me like the shortest amount of time because it took me like no less than 20 minutes to do that, because I really like it because I just shows all the geometric shapes basically, and they inquire like a lot of different colors here.
It's very abstract. I like that too.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you very, very much. Thank you for being on my show and showing your art. Everybody, I just want to let you know all this artwork is for sale. This is an original. It's a second original that is definitely up for sale. So some of these are sold as collections. So all you got to do is ask, and tell everybody your social media.
My social media is FlyGuyIsaiah1 on Instagram, and a contact email for is ieglaei@gmail.com, as well as you can find me for my acting on Actress Access and Casting Networks under the name Isaiah.
Well, thank you all for watching, and thank you, Isaiah, for being here.